Hi, thanks for joining us. The video you're about to watch is a recording of Durham Public School seniors participating in Riverside High School's PLTW engineering program. These seniors are enrolled in a capstone course known as Engineering Design and Development, appropriately referred to as EDD. EDD is a research and development course designed to challenge students with the rigorous tasks of determining and justifying a problem, and then developing and creating a novel yet viable solution. Over the past 4 weeks, these young women and men have worked tirelessly to justify a problem they believe is valid and worth solving. There have been many sleepless nights by both students and their instructor. They began by sorting themselves into teams based on their interest in topic areas of which they individually researched and then presented on during the first 4 days of class. These dedicated students immediately sought out a variety of professionals to spark them along their path to success, writing professional emails to organizations and individuals they deemed most important to their problem, their research, and their goals. Each team has begun to determine who the best people are to support them as mentors and experts. As they researched their markets, they discovered who their competitors are. They determined their stakeholders, and they even polled their consumers and end users. But their tasks did not stop there. They have also developed the technical reports for the first 3 elements and the beginnings of the next 2 elements necessary for their portfolio. And just think, they only have 9 more elements to go. Some teams have gone as far as creating electronic portfolio websites, while others have extensively organized their work in digital storage sites. But all of the teams have taken the time to create a thorough presentation of their first proposal. They have worked around the clock at beginning the design process that will bring their creative solutions to fruition. All of their work will be completed virtually during the 2020 fall semester in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic. Their tasks and work are unprecedented. For the remainder of the semester, our wonderful students will work towards deciding on the best solution, attempting to develop and create a prototype, and continue presenting in a very similar fashion during milestone proposals like the one you're about to watch. Without further ado, it brings me great pleasure to present to you Homeless Health Solutions and their project proposal.
This is Homeless Health Solutions, and this is our project proposal presentation.
We are a group of seniors at Riverside High School enrolled in a Project Lead the Way course called Engineering, Design, and Development, where the goal is to find a viable and justifiable solution. Our team is named Homeless Health Solutions. We were brought together because of one topic: problems homeless people face. We seek to find a solution that solves the medical foot problem the homeless face due to poor footwear, physical injury, or poor hygiene.
I'm Ben Saab.
I'm Esme Hernandez.
I'm George Stern, and Emily's having some audio issues.
Can you hear
Cool.
me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Like said before, our team was brought together because we wanted to work with a problem impacting the homeless population. In the beginning, we had the idea of helping the homeless by finding a solution that would give them a greater chance of getting a job. We figured we could start by making an impact with job appearances and job interviews, since many of the homeless would get rejected because of their attire. We realized that there was a greater issue, and it was that the homeless suffer from hygiene issues, diabetes due to poor eating lifestyles, fungal problems, and that's just to name a few. What these have in common is the health of the foot. Many homeless, especially the unsheltered, spend a lot of time on their feet since walking is their main mode of transportation. When doing research, we found that 65% of homeless experience medically related foot problems. Organizations we have reached out to, like the PAWS organization from Yale and the Healthcare for the Homeless program, testify that they see many foot problems on a regular basis. With the situation the homeless face, they don't have the money to spend on medical treatments or products to alleviate their foot problems. That is why we want to create an affordable solution set so that organizations and hopefully the homeless can buy to reduce the medically related foot problems they face. And this is a decision matrix that led us to ultimately decide to change our problem after research and careful consideration.
These are some of the experts and mentors that we've contacted and gotten input from. Our mentor is Jennifer Bartnick, and she has experience in long-term care and nonprofit organizations. She's been a huge help with looking into problems homeless people might have with their feet, especially considering those that are older with diabetes. She also has helped us get some insight on nonprofit organizations and other organizations and looking at how they're funded. We've also reached out to Cecilia Ibabuchi and Ryan Sutherland. Ms. Ibabuchi is a representative from the BHCHP, and Ryan Sutherland is the executive director from the Yale Poverty Alleviation through Washing Souls. And they've both responded to a survey that we sent out, and they've been helpful in identifying the foot problems that homeless people have been facing. They've also given their personal experience with helping the homeless population, how they help so far, and what they think could be done to fix this problem.
When researching prior solution attempts, we found that there are many products that solve certain aspects of our problem statement, but not our entire problem statement. So the first one was orthotic insoles, which can help with many of the symptoms of arthritis, and they can provide relief to those that use their feet all day. As Esme stated, most homeless people spend most of their day on their feet, and walking is their main form of transportation. So the insole can help alleviate some of that pain or soreness. The insole doesn't really address the issues of foot swelling, poor circulation, and excessive moisture. And many homeless people don't have a way to dry clothing articles once they get wet, like socks and shoes. The buildup of moisture can lead to foot infections because the bacteria can thrive in that moist environment. And then the next product that we found were compression socks. They're mainly used to promote a healthy circulation by assisting blood flow. And we found that the foot is the furthest extremity from the heart. And so when someone's standing for most of the day, the blood can kind of get stuck down in their feet, and it can cause foot swelling and pain. The compression sock allows the blood to flow back up to the heart to promote that healthy circulation. So the compression sock can alleviate some of that pain and help with muscle development in younger children. And while it helps with these issues, it doesn't really offer any proper support or cushioning from just the stress of using your feet all day. Our final product was a massaging insole. These use raised bumps to provide relief and a massaging effect. And the positioning of these bumps is based on reflexology, which states that different areas of the foot are connected to different parts of the body. So when that part of the foot is massaged, it can relieve some stress built up in that part of the body. This could help with people that spend long days on their feet and walk long distances, but it could also aggravate some of the symptoms of arthritis and could be extremely painful if someone has bone spurs or pressure points in their feet. They also don't help with blood flow, swelling, or excessive moisture, and they don't provide really any quality support. For our final product, we're planning on utilizing the positive portions of these products, trying to solve the negative aspects of these products.
We originally started thinking about our criteria when we were thinking about how to build our decision matrix. And we first thought, what are homeless people going to need? And so we came up with criteria like transportability, because homeless people are spending such a long time walking each day. And then we thought about ease of use and durability, because we learned that a large part of the homeless population is elderly and another large part is very young. So then we thought, what are we going to value? We value a unique design because we want to keep ambitious and interested in what we're created. We want to have something that's easy to manufacture because that's going to make decisions in the future a lot easier for us. And we want something that's eco-friendly, so that right from the source, it's going to be helping communities. From our decision matrix, you can see down in the bottom, different colors, green, yellow, and red. First place is green, which was the compression socks. It's 36 points. And then on both sides of that, left and right, in yellow, which are the orthotic soles and massage footwear, which were second place. And from those, we created our design, taking some of the best features. So then we determined from research about our target market what medical issues they were encountering, and kind of figured out really who they were. We learned that arthritis is affecting, especially the elderly population, it's affecting the homeless. Through that, we're going to use the massage insoles to target certain points in the foot to help that issue. We discovered that diabetes is a big issue, especially because the homeless doesn't have access to healthcare, And so it can become a more severe issue than the general population. And through that, we're going to use the compression socks, which are also just going to help general circulation, which can be an issue for younger people, which, like I said earlier, is a large segment of the homeless population, and it can affect their growth. So just generally, the compression sock is going to help anyone who wears it. Another issue we found is hygiene. Homeless people don't have access to multiple pairs of clothing. And so when one pair gets wet or dirty, they can't change. So they're stuck with that one pair. If we had a wicking feature in our product, then having only one pair isn't as big of an issue. What a working product is for us is when it fits those features are going to work for an entire month at the very least with wear and tear. Now, wear and tear is going to be under multiple climate scenarios, hot and cold. This is going to be shipped across the nation. So it's going to be able to work in the tips of Maine and all the way to the bottom of Florida. It's going to have to work in all those areas. And wear and tear happens. So it's going to have to be able to deal with ripping open and stuff like that and still be able to heal. If successful for at least a month, that's how we're going to see it's a working product.
So our entire project has used STEM principles. We have used it to study and analyze patterns within the homeless population. The problem statement we arrived to was justified through scientific research. We have used technology to organize our research as well as give us information on technologies used on existing products. Engineering has been used since the beginning, since August 17th. Everything from research to discussion notes have been written in our E&Bs. We have also used the design process to not only create a problem statement, but also the process of justifying it. Math has also been used through the functions used in decision matrices, like the ones you've seen in slide 4 and 7. And although we are still in the beginning of this process, all STEM principles have been used in some way.
It's pretty obvious who will be using this product. It'll be homeless people. But when we discussed who would be buying the product, we had to dig a little bit deeper. Homeless people likely wouldn't have the means to buy our product. In addition, there isn't a good way to market to specifically the homeless population. However, if we were able to market towards organizations that aid the homeless, we would be able to reach a larger amount of end users, since these organizations would already have a good outreach to the homeless population. Some of these organizations would include Durham Rescue Missions, Urban Ministries of Durham, the New Haven Paws Association, and the Boston Healthcare for the Homeless program. While we looked into marketing to organizations, we also had to consider how they're going to be funded. Some organizations get funding from grants, others depend on donations, and some use a combination of both. This will affect how much an organization is willing or able to pay for our product. And we as a team thank you for listening to our project proposal, and we'd like to now take any questions if you have any.
Thoughts, questions for them? Feel free to unmute yourselves and ask. Okay, so I'll get it kind of started here. First off, I want to say that, one, I don't have a lot of questions about your particular product or any of the research. Mostly that's because I have access to what you have created up to this point and have read through a lot of what you've gathered. And I personally feel as though it's incredibly thorough work that you have done up to this point. It's amazing to me what any of our students are able to create with this, whether it's this team, earbuds, or anybody from first period. With that said, let's talk cherry on top of great stuff. And where I found in this entire presentation that we're lacking that cherry is in the interest level, is in the way that you present the material auditorily, right? Or orally, I should say. Of all of you guys, the one that sounded the most interested in what was going on, or that had some really good inflection, was Emily here at the end, in the way that she spoke about it. I know that all of you have a huge passion for this, which is great. And that comes through in the writing and in the dedication of the work. So now when you get to the end of this semester and you're presenting that final defense, or even in the other two presentations as part of the practice, really work on making sure that that comes across to the audience, so that people who would invest in this feel that there's that passion that you have. There are two major projects that I think my two periods are working on, where it's really about society and helping and giving, whereas some of the other products are more about, or problems are more about, maybe, yes, sustainability and making things better, and that always seems to come through. But your product in particular isn't just the insoles or orthotics or a compression sock or something to that effect. It's more about making sure that part of our society that is often overlooked has the love and care that they need to make their life a little bit better. And that's where your product hits home hard. And so getting that to come through in your presentation, although it might be difficult, is very important. Other than that, I think your presentation was spot on. I want to look at how it is viewed when it's not shared on a screen. I know that the Chromebooks can cause some issue with quality of image and that kind of stuff. So I want to see what that looks like and see if there's anything there that I can help you guys with down the road. Other thoughts, questions for them?
I know we worked on formatting and having our pictures be the best quality. And I think that showed through. I guess personally, like, tips for me, I was trying to have energy more, which is maybe a little hard for me right now, but still, like, how could I convey pizzazz, like you call it?
I think a lot of that comes with practice, and then knowing your audience. Like, your audience is going to be an audience that's of a caring nature. So if we get to the final defense and I bring in people from, say, Durham Rescue Mission or so forth, you're not going to be flashy, like you're selling stuff, the as seen on TV kind of thing. So your pizzazz isn't really about that kind of lifestyle. Yours is more of one that's caring and loving. And so when we work together going forward, we need to think about, when you've practiced this, trying different techniques, like where to inflect your words. And understand that these are things that are high level type presentation skills that are afterthoughts for most people. So when you're practicing, you're all very open to, okay, that sounded dull, or that sounded like you're just spouting the information, as opposed to showing, that this is very important information. And so the way that I'm going to talk about it, notice I changed my voice, is something that gets across to you that this is the time in which you should really care about what I'm saying, instead of just reading some notes that I have to tell you that this is something that you should definitely care about. There's a difference in the way that that's said. And that's that cherry on top. So I know you're feeling under the weather, and also you guys are just, you're high school seniors. And how many times have you presented in your life versus someone who does this for a living? Maybe that can be something that Ms. Bartnick or some of the other mentors or people that work with you guys can help prod and kind of poke a little bit as you go down the road. It really does come with practice, though. And I'm open, if you want, George, to listen to anything that you guys have as far as practicing and just being, I don't care if I hear this presentation 20 times. Anything that I can do to help you guys reach that level is, I'm open to it. Just let me know. Okay. But don't feel like my comments there are in any way going to be detrimental to this. This was fantastic. Great work.
Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. And the technical reports as well, from what I've seen so far in the writing, is just, it's spot on. Okay.